you guys so much again for joining us on your Wednesday night. I can't tell you how much it means to Lisa and I that this has actually been so well attended, and thank you for inviting folks. And I just want to let you know that we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going as long as we can, and we look forward to it every single week. We kind of scramble at last minute. Lisa and I both are terrible for each other because we're both horrifying procrastinators. And so, but every single week it just turns out to be something magical, and that's because of you guys. And so I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And so with that, I'm going to jump right in with announcements. I believe this month we have a 60-day event going on in the Health and Happiness resource page called the Reclaim It group. If you're not a part of it, it's not too late for you to jump in. I believe that there's a PDF that's available. You can message me or Lisa or Amanda or your upline after this meeting and find out exactly what you need to do to be a part of it. But I know that quite a few people, I bet you see it all over Facebook right now, are posting and enjoying. I was talking with somebody about uncluttering our emails the other day, and that's all just part of it. Over your overall health and well-being is making these changes. So that's going on. Our perks product of the month this month is X Factor Kids, which again is what our meeting is going to be about primarily. And Lisa has our trivia question about that tonight.
It's a tough one. Are you guys ready? Get your finger on the chat and tell me the answer. Ready? What flavor is our kids' microbiome? Farron.
Farron
always
is our winner. Woohoo! Way to go,
wonderful
Farron.
Tropical punch.
Woohoo! Farron gets a prize. Great job. Right. Tropical punch. Oh, Krista Fry says yummy. You're right. It is yummy.
You know what I tell people? I say it's literally Tang without the guilt.
Oh, I forgot how yummy Tang was.
Yes, but it's loaded with sugar. So I just say Tang without the guilt.
You are so right about that. Holy cow. Lisa, did you have anything else you want to say about the trivia?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Well, then we have so much good stuff that I'm just going to hop right into the next portion, which tonight we have our first special guest is Rochelle Watkins. Rochelle is our resident pediatric nurse practitioner, and she's going to be sharing about the kids line and I think a little bit of her own testimony with the product. So Rochelle, I'm going to unmute you and I'm going to mute the rest of us, and you can take it away.
Well, hi, Wendy and Lisa. Thank you. I'm going to join the club and say I have pajama pants on because I'm on Eastern Standard Time, and this back to school, mama is tired, so you can't see me. So I'm just going to let you all know since we're all friends here. But thanks for introducing me, guys, and letting me share. So I have been in pediatrics. It ages me, but I always say thank you, Joyum, for 20 years. I've been a pediatric nurse for 20 years, a nurse practitioner for 16 years, and a mom for almost 10 years. And I always say I came on this journey. It's not so much about me. It's going to be more about Kids Line. But I came on this journey for weight loss for me. And as I share my story, you'll understand why. Anybody who's on here who's had kiddos, taken care of kiddos, but especially had a chronically ill child, you know, as a mom, your health goes to the wayside. So I came for me for weight loss, but I always say I stayed for gut health. I didn't do a lot of research when I tried these products, but before I decided to start them for my kiddos, I definitely put my research, I always say FBI brain, there's nobody a better researcher than a mama with a sick child. And they definitely got my seal of approval. So I will tell you that, and actually blew my mind, because I'm here to tell you, even though as my daughter says, I went through all the years, which I didn't go through all the years. I'm not a medical doctor, but with my education and healthcare background, I did not learn about supplements. I had to get in there and dive into the ingredients. Maybe it's different now since I've been in practice for 20 years, but back then they didn't teach us about this stuff. So once I did, I always say I'm just a gut health lover for that. But a little bit about my story. My oldest, at the age of only 9 months, started with some chronic health problems. And it probably led up before that. Having her, I don't know if anybody else has had kiddos, but she was like that dairy intolerant, dairy sensitive, acid reflux, constipated baby that we just had to watch my diet and her diet And that alone was a struggle, learning to read all those ingredients. And I just thought it was a way of life. And then about 9 months, she got her first ear infection. And you're thinking, okay, no big deal. Kids get ear infections all the time. Well, that ear infection turned into like 3 rounds of antibiotics, 3 antibiotics vaccines just to clear her first ear infection. And that should have been my clue that something was wrong. And then that just spiraled and continued for months, like out of control, until she was about 1.5 years. And finally I was like, we have to find some answers. So on top of the dairy intolerance and constipation, so we were dealing with so many antibiotics in her system in those 9 months that finally we found out that she has an immune deficiency disorder, which her body just didn't have to fight off the germs, the viruses, the bacteria that she needed to. And we were trying everything we could with antibiotic after antibiotic, but I'm telling you, her gut health was a wreck because of the things we were trying to do. So just mom already knew, needs a good multivitamin, needs a good probiotic, but what's a good one? Well, I don't know. I gave her samples of what I had free at the doctor's office at the time. Good luck getting an 18-month-old to do anything, especially with a dairy allergy, right? And we just went on with life about that. Fast forward a couple years, Plexus found me because I needed to take care of my health. Started, like I said, for weight loss for me. About a month into it, feeling great, I thought, okay, I ordered this triplex combo. Let's find out what it is and how this works. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Okay, good, I'm not muted. And so I started diving in, and I'll be honest with you. So she was 4 at the time, dealing with a lot of ear infections, continued constipation, nose, throat infections, seeing tons of specialists, all kinds of blood work. And I know you may not relate to that part because not every child has an immune deficiency, but we all can relate to our child being sick and being willing to do anything that we can, right? And some of us definitely can relate to constipation, and definitely can relate to a picky eater and maybe food allergy. So as I started diving in to our probiotic at the time, because they didn't have the kids line, I was blown away, you guys. I was honestly blown away. And so I was honestly scared to leave what we were trying, but it really wasn't working. So I thought, why not? Number one, I know it's a good, clean company, right? That was one thing that blew me away. There was great research behind our products. Why not give it a try? What we're doing is not working. Plus, I can buy it for myself. And honestly, the value of our ProBio 5 for what it offers, I was spending way more on that and getting subpar results and probably way less ingredients. So that impressed me alone was the price. So we started her on that. And then I decided, okay, she needs a good multivitamin. So she was 4 at the time, and all we had were capsules. So I opened and sprinkled those, like Farron was talking about at the beginning. Started with ProBio 5, then just took her to regular X Factor at the time. Now she loves the kids' chewables, which is so much more convenient, so much easier. I wish I would have had that when I first started this journey 6 years ago. And I will tell you, just that within a few months literally changed her health. We were visiting, the specialist in the doctor's office and just hoping and praying as she was starting preschool that our immune system would be healthy. And I can say here now that it is such a strong immune system that I work in our school now. My kids are back in person school, to each their own, your choice. I had just taken that job at our district last fall, so I knew I kind of needed to go back. But I feel like we're armed and ready, and having an immune deficient child, you would think, okay, I probably should be online schooling her, and maybe I should, but I feel like because of these products and how they've turned her health around, then she's done so well, I better knock on wood, that it really has armed her. So now she takes the X Factor, which is our highlight product, kids chewable, which is the probiotic and multivitamin 1, which, let me tell you, that is a lifesaver from what we were doing. It's so easy to just throw that her way. They taste so good. She asked for it. And then I was super excited when the new kids microbiome drink came out, because like I mentioned, I have 2 girls and both of them can suffer from constipation. So I was like Farron at the beginning of this call. We were definitely taking BioCleanse by capsule. And you guys, I'm one of those because I've always worked with kids. I always taste it before I give it to my kids. That way I know if it's awful, I can be honest. I'm a big believer in being honest. And BioCleanse by itself, opened and sprinkled, tastes disgusting. If your kids are around, plug their ears so that they'll still take it for you. But I have learned, since she was asking about that if my kids do need a BioCleanse, that I try to open and sprinkle an X Factor, because that kind of New Zealand black currant makes it purple, makes it fun, kind of hides the taste. So if I'm giving a bio cleanse that way, I'll often just give a ProBio 5 and X Factor. And you guys can ask me questions if you need at the end on dosing all together, just mixed up in like some applesauce, or we do the squeezable fruit and veggie pouches, pudding, something small they're going to eat. And that has definitely helped both my girls through some bouts of constipation with potty training time. But now that this kid's microbiome drink is out, like my mama brain got excited again because number one, fiber. Number two, DHA, which is good for brain and eye health, good for immune system too, plus all the vitamins and minerals that come in that combo together. My kids don't eat all those things on that list. I got really excited, and I've noticed we've been able to actually back off the BioCleanse with their constipation because of that omega drink, and my kids are already taking an omega for brain and eye health and just overall immunity health too. So I feel like it definitely turned our health around immune-wise, digestive-wise, constipation-wise, and really got my seal of approval, like I said, because of the clean ingredients, the research behind it. And it has just been amazing that I can sit here and say how comfortable I am that her immune disorder seems to be kind of under wraps. I'm always scared to say that because she can send me into a whirlwind, but our life is so much different because of these products. And so I will forever be thankful and shouting it from the rooftops as a mama for other kids who are struggling. So that's a little bit of my story. And I think from here, Farron gets to take it away, guys.
Thank you, Rochelle. I love listening to you. You are such a valuable resource to our team. So knowledgeable. So thank you for sharing. We appreciate it. So I get the pleasure of introducing my friend and my coworker, Dana. She joined me at the end of July. We had talked for a while about her issues, and then when the new kids product came around in June, I had talked to her about those as well, and I'm excited to hand this over to Dana so she can share her story of her son, Bryce.
Hi, everyone. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me. So my son, kind of the same deal. Like he's had, nothing diagnosed immune issues, but from really young ear infections, and even this summer had 2 bouts of strep within a month of each other, 2 weeks of each other. So and that was right away in June. And then we started him as soon as I ordered all my stuff. I ordered all the kids' products at the same time. So his stuff came in, and I would say within 2 weeks, he was off his ADHD meds. So I had struggled for a while. I've been told since he was 3 years old that my son has ADHD, and I'm going to have to put him on medication eventually. And I finally gave in when teachers were unwilling to work with him alone. So I got an IEP for him, got him going at school, and things were getting better. But I did go and talk to the doctor about putting Bryce on medication. So he's been on medication now for almost 2 years. Started on who knows what. I mean, I should know this, but like the first pill, I can't tell you. And then he was on some sort of generic Adderall. And then that just made him super violent, not himself. It was like I lost my little boy, and that was my fear of even putting him on medication. So then we got put on Vyvanse, which was something a little lighter, but then still could control his energy and help him focus. But he was always complaining about stomach issues. His stomach always hurt. He could never go to the bathroom. He would cry going to the bathroom, tell me that he's, bleeding or whatever. And I'd, feel horrible. He's like, give me something. I can't do this anymore. And Farron came to me and told me about the product. And I was like, I'm willing, if this is working for your kids. She had told me what she was doing, and I only tried the kids' products with my son. And like I said, within 2 weeks, he was not complaining about even with the first sample, he went to the bathroom right away. So that was amazing in itself. And so then it's like, I've got to order this product. And so I did. And 2 weeks in, I would say I really noticed attitude change, happiness change. Wasn't complaining about stomach issues as much. So I decided to take him off his ADHD medication I started on a weekend, see how it goes. And then, we'll play by ear. I've got the prescription if we need it. And I have not put him back on, so we're about almost a month in, 3 weeks, I would say, in with him being on no medication. So school has started. He still's on the IEP, but he's been on green. So they send me a daily report. He's been on green every day he's been in school. His first day of school, I'll post a picture later, but his first day of school, he wanted to dress up like a businessman. So he's like all in the suit and everything. It's like, who is everyone that, has seen him and loves him and knows him is like, who is this kid? Just amazed. And my parents, you spend a lot of time with him. They're like, he's amazing. I mean, he's always amazing, but he used to have a lot of anger issues and even have anxiety attacks and just be upset a lot and cry a lot. And I've seen nothing, we still have moments. He's still a little boy, still a kid, still growing with emotions. But I mean, he has been happy-go-lucky, go with the flow. It's like, this is not my child. So I'm very happy with it all. And I mean, I can't speak higher praises. So thanks for introducing me, Farron.
Awesome.
Thank you, girl. I appreciate
so
it
much for sharing. Oh, I'm sorry. Who's talking? Am I talking over someone?
I was just saying thanks, Dana. I love it. I'm so happy you agreed to share about it because it's been wonders, and I'm so happy he's doing so well.
Yeah. Thank you.
If we have time after Stephanie shares about our event, I would really love to talk to Rochelle about why she thinks that is, because I did a little research before we got on the call again about, the DHA, the choline. And just how that just works with emotional health of our children. So hopefully we'll have time. I don't know if the Zoom will cut off, but Rochelle, I have a ton of questions for you. So I'm gonna introduce Stephanie, and then we can come back after that. Does that work?
That works.
Okay, so Miss Stephanie has an exciting event happening. Her husband and her shared their health testimony last night. So if you guys missed it, you need to see it. I didn't know that Tim was given a 1% chance of living with his diagnosis, with what happened. It was incredible and miraculous to listen to your story. So guys, let me know if you want that. So anyway, tell us about the great event you have planned for Monday.
Okay, I'm going to keep it really brief, but I think everybody here should be a member of our Health and Happiness resource community. That's our resource page that has everything in it. Anybody who's taking the products, anybody who's checking out the products should be in that page. So Kim McMurrill and I are going to go live in that group Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Central, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to do a 30-minute event all about gut health and immunity as everybody goes back to school and prepares for cold and flu season. So we're going to share some great short testimonies. We're going to share some written out things, but invite all of your friends to be a part of that because it's a really great affirming thing to let people know about immunity. And I will tell you, I'll be sharing that night a little bit more about Tim I told people last night, he literally has not had a cold in almost 3 years, you guys. He has a compromised immune system. I know people that I worked with all these years who get a cold all the time. They're down for the count. They don't have compromised immune systems. So we'll be chatting about that on Monday night.
Wow. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to that because I did not get to catch your Zoom. So I'm hoping to catch the recording for that too. So just exactly like Lisa said, I unmuted everyone who I could unmute. Some people I think are controlling themselves and that's perfectly okay. So please feel free to, I'm going to put Rochelle front and center here again. Please feel free to ask questions. You know what? And we can just do this as long as we want. I have something prepared for the end of the meeting, a little motivational. If we don't get to it, we don't get to it. This is more important. So go ahead.
Okay, I have a question. Well, okay. I know Farron, you might have some questions for her regarding your son, but can you explain why it works so well for emotional health? And I feel that a lot of kids get that diagnosis. A lot of kids that don't have it, and then those meds come in and mess with their structure. And can you speak a little bit about that?
Absolutely. The practice I worked at, now I'm at the school, but for 12 years, I was at a pediatric practice. And let me tell you, we specialized in a lot of behavioral and ADHD. And even then, they left our office being told, you need a good probiotic, right? You need a good vitamin D, and you need a good omega. And way back then, I didn't really know a good one to give them. Just think of all the people that I can help now. But a lot of that is because of just number one, they say the gut is the second brain. So a lot of, I feel like any behavioral issues could be stemmed back to diet and just poor gut health and just the way we eat, and just we don't have the nutrition that we used to. That's why I think all of those that I just said, a probiotic and a vitamin D and an omega, are so important. Is not just the gut health piece, that's so much more than just digestive. We know that, but letting other people know that, number one. And then the second thing is just dealing with inflammation. So omega and choline are going to help with that. So if you ever follow like a naturopath or a chiropractor, for sure, that's another reason why, not just I love our probiotic and multivitamin, but I love the new microbiome drink, because it's focusing on all of those areas as well, getting those nutrients absorbed and really kind of helping inflammation like we're trying as adults. So I'm assuming that's what Dana's son is taking, that really transforming, when she said kids line.
So I have a question then. So about our X Factor chewables, you were saying that you always recommended that folks take the vitamin D as well, that they give it to their kids as well. So do you think that the X Factor has a high enough amount of vitamin D, or would you still recommend taking an additional if you're dealing with behavioral issues?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. For most healthy kids, I feel like our kids' chewable is absolutely fine. So like here at my house, of course, we're on it all. We buy it all. My kids have almost tried anything and everything, right? But for my oldest, who has more of the health issues, when I can, I try to give her the capsules, because she's getting older too, but I feel like they're a little bit more potent. If you can open and sprinkle those, and they can do those if you're dealing with a long-term kind of chronic health issue, whether it's behavioral or really bad constipation or really strong immune, issues or anything like that. I feel like the capsules could be a little bit stronger, and we'll rotate, because sometimes life is busy. Like tonight we had gymnastics. I was prepping for this and dinner. I threw them those chewables, and at least I knew they got something good, better than nothing. But when life slows down and I can try, like if you're having somebody, I think it's kids. My kids didn't have an option either. Like way back then, they didn't have the kids' chewables, so they're used to the capsules. I believe in trying them, but if you're not getting the response that you need, you really can't overdose. So adding in an extra probiotic capsule or extra X Factor capsule. I've never tried the omega open and squeeze. I bet it doesn't taste good either. We just used a different company. I hate to say it. So thank you, Plexus, for making my life easier. But I feel
Rochelle,
like
this is
try
Tom.
the kids.
It doesn't taste good.
I figured it didn't. So thank you. I'm not going to try that one. Okay. Thanks, Tom. But the kids' drink does, because I'll steal a sip of theirs, like they steal mine.
Yeah. I do have another question then. I think that a lot of us, the question that we always get is how much? So if you're looking at the products, you're looking at the drink, the microbiome drink, and you're looking at the kids' X Factor chewable, if you were going to recommend, if you have a customer or you have a potential who's going to buy one because they want so desperately to do something really great for their kids, but they just feel like they can't afford both, which one do you think is more bang for your buck?
Kids chewable multivitamin.
Yeah, that's what I usually,
because you're getting their probiotic and multivitamin, and the price of that, right? Like, don't quote me, I should know, but I mean $30-$35 at the most. Where are you getting a probiotic and a multivitamin for that? That's worth anything. I mean, you can go buy the junk Walmart brand. No offense, I think I probably took Flintstones pregnant with my oldest. We wonder why she has the immune issues that she does, right? But honestly, I really think I did, because then the others upset my stomach. They were gross, and I wouldn't take them. Fast forward, we all know better now, right? But I think that if you can, and I know that's pricier if you're not buying a good multivitamin and probiotic, but if you break that down, it's good, for sure. I think if that's all you can afford, at least start there.
Okay. Anybody else have a question for Rochelle? Lisa, this is where we could use the Jeopardy thing.
I know they're thinking. Aaron?
You guys are so sweet.
I was thinking of like, I thought of one before and now it's gone. So Rochelle, so I give him 2 BioCleanse. Do you think I should also be adding in ProBio 5 if he's already getting, so he's 2, almost 3. He gets 1 chewable a day. Should I be giving him 2 chewables? Should I give him something?
You could try it, because I mean, if he doesn't need it, obviously he's just gonna, get rid of it in the bathroom. So I always say you can't overdose on supplements. You really can't, but you got to be mindful too. I would try 2 chewables, but I would also, I mean, if he's taking the BioCleanse like he is, fine, that's great. But if you have ProBio 5 there, you could open. He would be fine with 1 full capsule probably. And I'll throw the X Factor in, like I said, to hide the taste. Obviously, he's taking it. He doesn't think anything of it. He doesn't know life any different. He's like my youngest. She'll do the BioCleanse that way because she just had to from a young age. And I don't have to use it as much. But I would almost I would try it and play with it. I wouldn't do both, obviously, one thing at a time. I'd either try another chewable with him and see if it makes a difference, or open a ProBio 5 and put it in there with his BioCleanse.
Cool. Thanks.
Especially as we're going to go into cold season, right? Like, might as well up their immunity. Yeah.
Beck, can you jump on if you have?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or Beck is a great expert, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just told Beck she can jump on if she has anything to add or if she has any.
She's probably taking a shower right now and doesn't have her camera on.
Okay, anybody else? Krista's all snuggled up in a blanket back there. She looks comfortable.
Oh, I want to see her.
Anyone else? Last call, folks.
What do you know about choline?
Me?
Yeah. Because that was a new term for me. Or DHA.
Yes. No, it's in breast milk and even in some formulas now, but really good, once again, for like brain and eye health, bone health. But when I say brain, behavioral development is huge for that. I mean, if you can mimic breast milk, you've got liquid gold. So it's going to boost immunity and things like that as well. Like, that got me really excited because I don't think our kids nowadays even get that in their diet other than when they're breastfed, or it is in some formulas. But then after that first year of life, like, my kids aren't eating the food that choline is in. They're not, at least not enough of it anyway. So
like liver?
Yes.
Liver,
yeah. Like, who eats that?
Brussels sprouts?
I mean, yeah.
No.
So it'd be a good, just immune booster and overall just behavioral and brain. So when I say brain health, that's probably why Dana saw some of the awesome things that she did,
That's amazing. I just know that, I mean, obviously parents want their kids to behave in school, and when they don't have anything to draw on other than the teacher, like I've talked to so many people and I know that they've struggled with that. It's heartbreaking as a parent to try and do whatever you can to get your kid like cooperating in school, and it's exhausting for that mom. And I just wonder how many kids, it's literally these kind of things that could really help them, because our kids get so much sugar in their diets. It's hidden in everything, just like us adults. And I really just think so much of that is the issue. And so I hope that we can get this out there more and more so that less mamas have to go through that.
I agree.
With kiddos.
I agree.
Working in a school and doing my research with my own kids, because we eat so different than we did when my oldest was a newborn, just thanks to Plexus opened my eyes. And my kids, it's sugar's hidden in everything, but I can tell a difference in their mood, their behavior, their sleep. They even say immunity when we're off when we don't eat the best. I can just see it when grandma and grandpa's had them and I get them back. Let's just say that.
I mean, right before I hopped on, there was a commercial on TV from Kellogg's, and they put together these new packages, these healthy snack packages that are large versions of their cereal. So you can get, you know, like a terrible package, like a bag of chips, and it's a giant Cheerio or a giant Fruit Loop, or, you know, I just think to myself, how is this a healthy snack? Like, I can't even wrap my mind around, and all of the things that are happening with food regulation and all of those things. And then you just have them marketing this stuff to our kids, and it's like crack. It's like giving them poison. And I'm so thankful. I feel the same as Lisa and you, Rochelle. And I'm just so thankful to hear stories like Dana saying that, you know, they're at least getting these products in them, because you don't know exactly, right? You go to the grandparents, my parents are super guilty of that. You know, here, have more cookies. You know, Corey's parents too. Oh, you want to eat a loaf of bread after school? Sure, go ahead. You know? And I'm just so thankful that we have something better to offer. So any more questions, anyone?
Does this go off at 22?
We have
like 3 minutes.
We have 3 minutes.
Okay.
All right, so if we don't have any more questions, it's kind of funny. I was just really scrambling tonight looking for words of wisdom because I had lots of other things going on. And good old John Maxwell, you know, he's such a friend of Plexus. He's such a friend of our teams. And so John, I got his words of wisdom today. And his words of wisdom today were, John Maxwell's father died July 4th. And so he decided to start delving into some things that he learned from his father and then based his books on. And so his words today were, be intentional, right? He even wrote a book. I think the name of the book is Be Intentional. And he goes on to say, good intentions need to be turned into good actions, because when you just accept your life, you don't get the best that life has to offer you. And he talked about how his dad, every single night before he went to bed, would take a 3x5 card and write down at least 3 things that he hoped that he would accomplish the next day. And he put it on his bedside table. And when he got up in the morning, he put it in his pocket and he took it out and he referred to it and he checked it off as he did it. And the thing that he said that I really liked about this is that his dad used to say, if you, the night before, think through the next day, you're preparing. If you're not preparing for your next day and you're just going blindly into it, you're repairing what you didn't prepare for. And I know that's a mouthful, but it really kind of spoke to me because I am that kind of person. I'm a procrastinator. I kind of just let life happen to me a lot. And so I really kind of like that idea of writing your intentions down on a 3x5 card. And I think all of us can kind of use that in our businesses, right? You have customers to reach out to and potentials to reach out to. And so every night you just took that time to organize your day. And I also think it's something that, you see a lot from Emily Gibson and Brooke Hemingway too, about preparing for your next day. So anyways, I loved that because he said, if we don't prioritize today, we end up in repair mode tomorrow. If you prepare, you live your life intentionally. So we're about to go off, but I just thought I would leave you guys all with that. I thank you again for hopping on. Thank you all of our awesome guests, and we will see you all next week. God bless.
Thank you, guys.
I love that.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for sharing.